We're just talking about Chief going viral a couple times in the last couple of weeks. Pictures in public, man. It's insane.
Yeah, I saw the one with Mitch Marner, and it's funny even talking to buddies and trying to imagine what could have gone on in that meeting. I don't know. I don't see how it cannot be a positive meeting. From knowing Chief, I think he's going to connect very well with all the players there on the team. I think all the guys are going to love playing for him. They're going to, honestly, he's going to be hard on them. But at the same time, what he said in his presser, I listened to it a little bit, and how he wants to create a partnership with each player. And that's what he did in St. Louis with us. Slowly but surely, he gets into those meetings and kind of find out about each individual on a personal level, all that stuff. He's a guy that's around the room, bumps into you every single morning, kind of says hi, what's going on, how are you feeling, things like that. And over time, it creates that relationship with him, that trust factor that from the way he's coaching, the way he's acting, you really trust that he's got your back. And I don't know, for me, he got the best out of me every single night, just the way he coached me. And I'm very thankful that I had him as coach in St. Louis.
So, David, thanks for coming on. Keeping with Berube, you talk about his personal kind of relationships with the players. Does he just kind of keep that personal thing with everybody and then it all blends into a team thing? Or is he more of speak to the group as a whole and try to get everyone on the same page? Or is it kind of a blend of both? How did he go about his business in St. Louis?
Yeah, it's definitely both. I mean, it's tough to know how relationships were with other guys. I know how mine was with him. And it was constant conversations. I don't know, I think maybe you guys heard the clip of Schenner talking about Chief in the sauna, things like that. You just kind of run into him in all kinds of situations. He's got your back. It's funny. It's all about the team, and as long as you show that for him, he's gonna come through for you. He's gonna have very specific things that he wants each guy to focus on when they go on the ice. And usually it's going to revolve around the team, how you play, and making sure you play the right way. You're ultra competitive. And I think from that point on, that's what I mean, like creating that partnership, that relationship with each guy. And there's a lot of good things, obviously, in the room already. He's going to bring the best out of it. And I think guys are going to look forward to battle for him every night.
Obviously, you've been in close proximity playing the Leafs in the same division the last couple of years. You had a goal and 2 helpers and 3 outings this past season. Do you think that's a good fit, Craig Berube, there? Because obviously we just talked about it, viral photos, like it's a different market, right?
Yeah, now certainly there's going to be adjustment for him in different ways, I'm sure. But this is up to him to adjust. It's not going to be easy. I don't think it's never easy anywhere. Like, even towards the end in St. Louis, I know all the guys still loved him just the same way. And at times you have to make changes. And that's what happened. And he finds himself in a really good situation where the city obviously is craving a winning team for years now. And I think he's not afraid of that. That's exactly kind of what we had in St. Louis. He came through for the city. And why can't he do it there in a way? And I know his good buddy, Rick Tocchet, kind of just turn the team around in Vancouver, and that's another tough city to do it in. And I know they're in constant conversation, so I'm sure he's going to rely on him for different things, working with you guys, media, all that stuff. It's not the same dynamic as maybe anywhere he's been, but at the same time, I think he's looking forward to it. I think he's looking forward to a new adventure, and I mean, doing it in Toronto, there's probably not many bigger market.
Sure. David, take us through what it's like for a player like yourself and the situation you're in with free agency. What stage are you at with your agent, with your family, what you're looking for, what your priorities are?
Yeah, well, priorities, I mean, it's trying to get stable somewhere. I think with the kids now, my son will be 9 this summer. My daughter just turned 7. And then we have another one that's a year and a couple of months. And with the school situation and all that, you're trying to create something where they have roots somewhere they can kind of build their own life a little bit, and you're not trying to move every single year. And I think for me, after 17 season, that's what I'm looking at. It's definitely you're trying to find a good opportunity for me to win another Stanley Cup or do something positive for my own career. But certainly it's not the same decision making that it was maybe 5-6 years ago. and I've won the cup and everything. And obviously, I want to bring my kids along, maybe for another ride, but at the same time, it needs to be a good ride for them too on their personal level.
Here's the moneymaker question: would you be open to reuniting with Craig Berube in Toronto?
Well, I mean, we'll see what happens here with this team here. I'm not trying to turn the page just yet, because I really had 2 very enjoyable seasons in Detroit. This is a team and an organization I have a lot of respect for, so I want to make that clear. I don't want to create a bomb in that sense, but I think definitely Chief is a guy that it was an honor to be coached by him. I think he brought the best out of me. We won a Stanley Cup together. He helped me go to the All-Star game the one year, and I know he's always had my back. And this is a guy that I view as a coach, but I think for me, at this point, it's almost like a different relationship. It's more on a personal level. He's a guy that I rely on, and I've talked to in the past over the last couple of years for different things, different advice. And I think he's a guy that's I want in my corner all the time. He's again, like, he's one of the guy that connected with me the most on a personal level, brought the best out of me, and we'll see what happens.
David, growing up in Quebec, being part of a hockey family, what's the outlook on the Toronto Maple Leafs with yourself and your family growing up? Were they the absolute nemesis, or is it that hardcore?
Yeah, for sure. I think it was all about Montreal growing up, and anything that had to do with Boston or Toronto, you couldn't bring it up in any household. But I don't know, it's different. Like, you see different situation. You see Patrice Bergeron playing for Boston all these years, being from Quebec City, and it was kind of funny to see how a lot of fans in Quebec were fans of Boston a little bit more because of Bergie. And it's funny with Felix Potvin, he actually lives on the same lake that I'm on in the summer, and he's a guy that played for the Leafs for a lot of years. They really enjoyed his time there. I think the fans did as well. And who knows? We'll see what happens. Again, even talking about Chief again, like this is a guy that it would be an honor to have as my coach again, but we'll see what happens.
Hey, David, I'll say I'm from RDP. My family hates me because they're all Habs fans, but I moved here when I was like 5 or 6, and obviously I support the Toronto Maple Leafs, so it can be done. I wanted to ask you just a bit about free agency. Obviously, it's a tough time for any player, whether they're 26 or 36. How much does it help knowing that you've been through this process? Because it obviously can be really stressful, right?
Yeah, I think last time around it was more stressful. I really wanted to stay in St. Louis, and then when I kind of realized it wasn't going to happen, it was really tough on me. It was really tough on my family. I just felt like I had done a lot to kind of, with performance, other things, culture, to stay there, and it was tough on my family. Again, like I said, with the kids having to leave their friends, all that stuff, selling the house was a tough moment for our family. I think this time around I have a lot less stress. I want to keep extending my career as long as possible. I want to keep being a difference maker as I get into my later years of my career. But this isn't like I'm looking for a place I can just go play for another couple of years and be fine with whatever. I'm going to keep pushing. I want to keep making a difference out there. And that's how I view this time around. We'll see what happens. I don't really have too much on my mind yet. I'm sure as the days and the weeks are going to keep passing on. I think there's 4 or 5 weeks left till July 1st. We'll see what happens. Again, there's my team here in Detroit that I really love this city. I just came from the gym this morning. Some great staff members, coaches, everyone. So I hope that this can keep going here too.
Yeah, I was just going to ask to wrap. I think Rosie's got one more question too, but just to wrap, like I really noticed a difference in your game just around, I guess, the time when you guys won a Stanley Cup. And I was telling Rosie the other day, this is not just kissing your ass. I think you're the type of player that this team needs. Just how hard-nosed, like you, like Chief, man, you always have a snarl on your face on the ice. Like that's the biggest compliment because you play with edge and bite. And even if you're not scoring, you're doing something. Was there a moment in your career where you felt it click for you where it's like, this is how I got to play to probably win the cup?
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. That's what I love about hockey. Maybe there's a night you don't have your legs, you don't have your hands going something, but I think with hockey, there's a way to make a difference every single night. However your energy is, however your ice time. Maybe it's a night you're playing on a bottom 6 line, and what you have to do is create energy, being physical, being hard to play against, bringing momentum every single night, taking short shifts, putting the skill guys on the ice, going north with the puck, or maybe playing right into the ozone, versus when you're on the top six, it's maybe a different mindset. And I can't tell you how many times from the teams changing to another team saying to guys, and they're like, wow, you're actually a good guy. I used to hate playing against you so much. And in my mind, it's kind of like, well, did you wish it was the opposite? Like, I don't know, like, am I supposed to love playing against someone? And that's kind of the mindset that I try to bring every single night. I appreciate your comment. This is something that I pride myself on. I try to bring that every single night. It's not easy. Sometimes you don't have it every night, but that's what I'm trying to do for sure.
And David, playing over 1,100 games in the league, 17 seasons, like you say, you get a pretty good perspective over what's going on, and you've won as well. When you look at the Maple Leafs roster, I know it's difficult for you being, not part of the franchise right now or anything like that, but what do you see, their strengths and their weaknesses, and what do you think they need to do to become, a team that can win?
That's a sensitive subject and question for sure. It's tough to get on at this point, to be honest. I don't want to do that too much, but definitely just kind of on the opposite side. What I can say is how hard it is you're trying to match their skill, but trying to outwork them at the same time. And if you put yourself in the hole, maybe too many penalties or anything like that, it's going to be a hard night. And you have to have your absolute best game every single night to be on the forecheck and making sure that you hold on to every single puck in the ozone. And I do think this is something maybe the Leafs can do more, is being harder to play against. And that this is something Chief will definitely bring up. That's one of his biggest thing is hanging on to pucks in the ozone. You don't have to just throw everything at the net, or you don't have to just one and done type of offense. And I think that this is something the Canucks have been talking about. I think Rick Talk brought that to the Canucks. You heard them talk about that in certain interviews, that I could kind of see where this mentality came from. And I think Chief alone will bring that up. I don't really need to create too many comments on that, but there's a lot to like for sure on the Leafs roster.
Great answer, David. I will say, when your playing career is done in like 10 years, you got a future in this industry. Have you ever thought about media or what?
I do enjoy it. Yeah, I do like talking about hockey. I find myself, like, even right now, watching the games at night. I got a little group chat with a couple buddies here and there where we talk about different plays, game, what happened. And this is something that I would like to do after. But I hope that I can keep playing for another couple of years here before I turn and then maybe be with you guys a little more.
Well, okay. I already ordered my 57 Leafs jersey, so that's great to see, man. Thanks for your time today.
All right.
Best of luck in free agency, okay?
Sounds good. Thanks. I appreciate it, guys.
Thanks,
Have a good one.
Make sure to check out more of our content right here on the Leafs Nation YouTube page. We got long-form interviews. We got clips. We got epic rants by Jay Roseau. We simply have it all. And don't forget, you can find out much more at theleafsnation.com. Thanks so much for watching.